Cool. So my name is Frank Scott Krueger. I am a UI and UX graphic designer. If anyone doesn't really know what that means, it's just kind of a pretentious way of saying that I design iPhone apps. It's like basically UI stands for user interface, so everything that you see on your phone, and UX stands for user experience, so everything that you do on your phone. So if you tap a button, what happens with that animation, or you transition to a new screen, what the heck happens there? So that's what I do, and I enjoy the heck out of it. I definitely I would not introduce myself as an artist. I know this is non-starving artist night, but I think there's quite a big difference between art and design, and I'm pretty comfortable with that difference. It's just a lot of some designers, they consider themselves artists, which I think is awesome. I don't exactly feel that way. Some artists, it's very rare. It's actually kind of rare when artists consider themselves designers, because I think they're quite different, and I kind of like to talk about the differences between art and design, and why I'm either one or the other. Every once in a while they mix, but they're quite different. So I'll start with a few examples of my work, and tell a few stories, and then we'll go from there. Then you guys can see like some real artists actually speak. So yeah, about 3-4 years ago, I did an art installation. It was actual art in a gallery, and it was a piece called Conversations. And basically what this piece was I timed how long I spoke and how long I listened every single day for 10 days. And then I took this data and I visualized it in a gallery. I don't know why someone let me install this in a gallery, but it was awesome. And I visualized it kind of like in this bar graph form, with cement cinder blocks, and I lit it in such a way that when you walked in, it kind of looked like a cityscape in a developing nation. And so why did I do that? Or why the heck would anyone want to express themselves in that way? And it wasn't because anybody was telling me to do so. I certainly wasn't commissioned. I didn't make any money off of it. I didn't have an art director kind of leaning over my shoulder saying, hey, I think it would look a lot better if you use this color palette, or maybe you should use red bricks instead of, like cinder blocks. No, I was just doing it because it was a personal exploration, and it was something that was very important to me at the time, really studying kind of the difference between the input and output of my personal communication. But on the contrary, design, I mean, every single design project starts with basically a set of constraints. So you're kind of given this box to work within. It's like, okay, so here's our budget, this is our brand, this is our goal as a business. Now what can you do kind of within that box? So it's completely different. And I'll use the example of one of the clients that I'm working with right now. They're called Red Tricycle, and they're a tech startup in San Francisco. They're like a really cool startup. I love working with them. And they're an events app for families. So they came to me and they said, hey, we have one goal as a business, and that is to keep our users, mainly mothers of families, in our app for as little time as possible, give them the information they need, and then send them out into the world and have them go to events, have them support local economy, have them do stuff, interact, be outside with their family. So I thought, yeah, this is radical. I mean, like, this is like a really cool company, and I'd love to participate in what they're building. And at the same time, I really, before I take on any client, I have to think, do I really want to participate in what this company is doing for the next 6 months or 1 year or 2 years? And do I really believe in this company's mission and vision? Because if not, I really can't change that as a designer. I can't be there and say, oh, cool, you guys do, events for families. I'm actually way more passionate about owning a dog. So can we do, some social network where dog owners meet other dog owners while their dogs are socializing? Like, no, like that's not what you pay me for. That's not at all the gig. So yeah, you're kind of stuck working within those constraints, and as a designer, it's kind of interesting. It's like you have influence in a way. I mean, if you think about like the designers for apps, think about Facebook, a designer at Facebook. Every move they make, every change they make in the design, it touches 1.3 billion lives. That's a lot of influence. At the same time, nobody knows who the heck the designers at Facebook are. Like, and no one's interested. You're using your app and you're thinking, wow, what a delightful experience. this is really beautiful, or maybe you don't think that at all. You just use the app and you put it away and continue with your macaroni and cheese. And that's awesome. That's part of what I love about being a designer, is that you're invisible and your work is there and you're trying to accomplish a goal. But I mean, in the end of the day, it's not about you. And so whenever I've worked on art pieces or partaken in art installations in the past, it's been very different. I mean, like, you walk into a gallery and there's a beautiful piece of art, and then there's the artist's name right there, and it's like, of course the artist's name is there. It's all about that relationship between the artist and through the piece, and that connection that they have with the viewer. So I mean, it's inherently different. Last little story. I work with another tech startup. They're called Peg, and this company is really awesome. It's my favorite company that I've ever worked with. And what they do is they're kind of a combination between BuzzFeed and Myers-Briggs. So they make it really fun. Yeah, super random. That's why it's so awesome. They make it really fun to answer questions about yourself and about your friends. So like Peg, friends, personalities. And these questions are always super zany. They're like, it's like playing Cards Against Humanity. They're always like hypersexualized and ridiculous. At the same time, it's like this data that these users are generating, by saying, I like this over this, or I prefer this over that, or I think this about my friends or the world or myself. That's really valuable data. And what's different about this company is they don't sell that data. They give that data back to the user, which, it sounds crazy, but I've never heard of a tech startup doing this, which is kind of weird. But they say, hey, user, thanks for participating in our app and generating this amazing preference data that we can do whatever we want with. It's your data. What do you want with it? What do you want to do with it? You can keep it, or you can sell it back to us, and we will literally pay you for your engagement in our app. And then from there, we will have this data to work with, because you're helping our business. I mean, like, a tremendous amount. So, yeah, I mean, I feel really lucky to work with a company like this. This app isn't launched yet. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of like illustrates the extreme difference between like kind of like my artwork and my design work. And I'm certainly a graphic designer. Very happy to be one. And yeah, I'm the first speaker, so I'm really excited about you guys listening to the rest of the speakers. And yeah, hopefully they'll be real artists. So thank you very much.